Well, new details tonight. It's a battle of the billboards in Lawrence County right now with a debate above the interstate. This billboard now stands over 385, quoting Mark 10:6 from the Bible saying, quote, God made them male and female. Well, the billboard says it is paid for by Lawrence County conservatives. The groups raised money to put the message up in response to a billboard we told you about last month. Well, this billboard is one of many put up across the state in March by the Alliance for Full Acceptance, which is based out of Charleston. The group wants to support the LGBTQ community, saying, quote, rejoice, God loves trans kids. The group says people have been using religion as an excuse for hate and hope the billboards start a conversation. Well, today, the chair of the Lawrence County Republican Party and member of the Lawrence County Council released a statement about the new billboard, saying in part, quote, regardless of what politicians and scientists tell us, God declared from the beginning that there are only two genders, male and female. It's that simple. So it's up to us to protect our children, families, and communities against ideology that would dare question God's created order. Meanwhile, the AFFA responded by saying, quote, to our LGBTQ plus family in Lawrence County, we see you, we celebrate you, and we stand with you. To the honorable faith leaders, allies, medical community, and legislators who stand with us, we thank you.